out there, everybody. Welcome to Blue Green's World, and Akron is 200 years old, and I came down to the Akron History Center to learn all about it. This place is amazing, but I'm not gonna talk about it. We're gonna have somebody else talk about it. So, who are you, and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Caitlyn Conley, and I am the local historian museum specialist for the Akron History Center. I'm an employee of the Akron Summit County Public Library, and we operate the museum.
So, fill me in, how did you get here? How did this happen? Was this on your plan in life to become this, or did this evolve? How did you get here?
Originally, I wanted to be Indiana Jones. That was my goal from a very young age. But as you get older, you realize that's not a viable career option. So I went to the University of Akron. I was a direct admit into the history department. And I got my bachelor's in history, a bachelor's in anthropology, and an archaeology certificate. And then went back to school for my master's. I'm actually a trained medieval historian. When I came back from Kentucky, I ended up doing the museums and archives class and got my certificate through the psychology archives at the university. And I ended up at the Hauer House Museum, which is a university museum here in Akron. And I kind of just fell into local history and fell in love with it. And here I am. Okay,
side note, is that place haunted?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not haunted.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it, that's why I asked.
No. It's not haunted, I promise. So, yeah.
And there's no gotcha questions. There's like I did on the John Brown house too, and there's some people that swear they've seen, heard stuff in there. You know, such old places. I personally think it's a lot of time is a leaky electricity, makes you feel a little bit odd, and then once your brain starts going, you just fill in the blanks from there.
I mean, any old creepy mansion is an old creepy mansion. Anyway, no matter how beautiful, it's still an old creepy mansion.
So you said medieval history. That's how did you fall into that? What attracted you to that field?
I would have to say not just the history, but the culture. Everything is kind of all connected, and the power struggles, the role of the church, the monarchy, the people. The cultural trends you see. I mean, history repeats itself in one way or another, and we're still repeating history that's already happened. So I kind of just fell in love with it. It was, I don't know. There's just something about the architecture and the artifacts of medieval history that really got to me.
So it probably annoys you. I see videos a lot. You get caught in watching TikTok and people claim that stuff it was built by somebody else. And there's no way they could have built this stuff in these time periods. They have no grasp of how long it took to build them. That it was like such a period of time. And that's gotta get under your skin, I would think.
Well, it's kind of a knock to humanity. I mean, there are people who were just as smart then that they are now. And if anything, they were better craftsmen, because they were able to do it out of stone and with very limited and primitive tools. So the fact that that's even a thing, they should be proud of humanity for what they've accomplished. So,
have you got to visit anywhere in those areas?
Not medieval. I have done some. I did an archaeological dig in Mexico in the Yucatan. And we did some domestic structures out there, but I have not been to Europe yet. That's hopefully later this year.
I know I'm completely veering off this interview is going to be, but that's the beauty of a podcast. You can talk about some things you don't normally talk about. What's your thoughts on the whole idea of like LiDAR coming out now and being able to see things that the South America seems like it was just one big city at one time?
I mean, LiDAR's been around for ages. It's a wonderful tool. I mean, the things that you can find that don't exist on the surface anymore that LiDAR can let you see is phenomenal. And it really does. It helps archaeologists. It helps historians. And I think it's essential, too, to wanting to preserve the past. A lot of countries really take their past and they preserve it because it's really important to them. And I think that's really important, especially when you're trying to develop an area, to help preserve as much as you can preserve and LiDAR allows that to happen. So,
and if you can find it online, check it out. It's pretty interesting. There's just structures all over the place. I mean, it's all over the world. I mean, it's not just in South America, it's everywhere. There's a lot of things that we never realized was there. Just this random hill, maybe it wasn't a random hill. Could have been something else. Okay, now let's get back to where this whole interview should be going to. So we're in downtown Akron on Main Street. You know, this is where it all started in 1825. A little before that, probably. There's a lot of history that goes behind it. And I'm not sure exactly when this building goes to, but how far does this building go back that we're in now? And what was its history?
Early 1900s, so 1909. So the White Law, this is the Bowery Project. So the White Law building, or the White Law Cafe, which is now the Night Stage, was the first building in this stretch on South Main Street after people rioted and blew up City Hall in 1900. And so these buildings kind of fell in soup. But when this one was constructed, it was 1909. It was originally a meat market. It was the first meat market in Akron to display its meat under glass and have refrigeration. So it makes you think, how are they selling meat before? And what were they using to preserve the meat? So this was kind of like I don't want to say a high tech of the day, but it definitely was something new that Akron had never seen. And then other small grocers kind of came in. So, you know, and then it became Sif Shoes in the 1950s, and then Jay's Drugs. And then the whole Bowery project sat vacant for like 20 years before they were able to revitalize it. The city, you know, really took part in the revitalization. And we have 92 apartments above us in the whole project. And a thriving community down here, so.
And then those of you who are not familiar with Akron, this is a canal that basically, you know, Akron's kind of built around, and the canal's in the back of here.
Yes.
And that was where they had the cows come off of the boats right there, or they brought them into town possibly. They slaughtered them right here. So this was like the commerce area, this whole Main and Market, I guess. You know, that's the area, and this is kind of part of this whole area there.
Yeah, so right behind us is Lock 4. So we're right next to Lock 3 Park, which the city just redid. And it's amazing to see. A lot of people ask how the locks worked. And I mean, obviously a lot has been redone since the city has taken, you know, an active interest in revitalizing the canal. But when you look at it, people have a hard time imagining how you got a boat down the canal. So when you go down to the first floor here in the museum, there's a plat map of what it looked like with all of the canals, the locks, and what the city looked like. And it kind of shows you how they put boats in a waiting line and where they would be stationed to drop off goods and how they kind of maneuvered back to the canals and the canal and the lock. So it's fascinating, the engineering that it took to get it done.
I mean, this predates the railroads. That was like the mass transit system at the time. That was the highways. I mean, to think about what that meant, that you could get your products from like one county all the way across Ohio, for that matter, or all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. If it got on long enough, it could get to New York, it could get to so many places. Yeah, canals are pretty damn amazing when you think about the time period.
Akron wouldn't exist without the canal. In all honesty, it took 45 minutes to get through a lock. So imagine the commerce that was coming through the city. You had all of these locks, and it took 45 minutes to go up to the summit. Faster, obviously, to go down. But without that, there wouldn't have been the taverns or the grocers, the homes, the lumber yards. I mean, Akron really was built literally around the canal.
It all starts with the water that still flows back there now today. You can go look at it. It's pretty clean too. I looked at it. There's fish in there. It's amazing how this area has been revitalized. When I first came to Akron to go to college in 1991, downtown was pretty scary. I mean, in the back here, there was all kinds of like graffiti all over the walls. You wonder if the stuff was gonna fall off. People would go take photographs to get a rustic look back there. And now it's so clean and so nice back. If you haven't seen Lock 4, you gotta check it out. At Lock 3 and Lock 4, the murals alone now are just worth coming to see, which I've done shows on, check them out. But let's talk about what it took to get this place. So how did it all come together? I mean, it's something that, every city technically needs some type of history center. Usually it's the library that takes care of that. So I'm assuming that might be, I don't know if this is going that way. Some cities, they have local historian people that take care of stuff, but I don't know if every city has something like this, but for 200 years, this is wonderful that we have something.
So the Summit County Historical Society, it kind of started with them. They just celebrated a milestone, their 101 years now. But Dave Lee Brith, who has been a member of the Historical Society for over 60 years, he kind of asked years ago, over 40 years ago, why Akron didn't have a museum to represent its history. And so he and Akron historians kind of put together an advisory board, and they kind of delve into what they would need, how it would happen, what they would include. And at the time, it never really came to fruition. And then there was the chance for Akron to be the home of the Inventors Hall of Fame. So Dave was like, hey, I have this report. Maybe you guys should look at it. So that's how we ended up getting the Inventors Hall of Fame. And then the Marble Museum, which was down at Lock 3 for about 10 years. And then as the bicentennial got closer and closer, there was this space, this whole building, Building D, and the contractor asked, is there anything that we could put on the walls? It's all white. And of course they go to Dave because Dave knows everybody. And he's like, hold that thought. I have something for you to look at. And he busts out his report. And that's kind of how we ended up getting the space. The stars aligned. He had looked into a variety of other places that just weren't really panning out. And he wanted to partner with the library. We're partners with the Summit County Historical Society, the Lighter Than Air Society, UA Archives. We're really a community partnership here at the museum. And then from there, about 2022, he really started getting the funding together for this place. And he raised over $2.2 million. And so we ended up contracting some consultants to see if we could even put it in this space. It's a pretty small space. It's three floors, maybe just over 3,000 square feet. But we were able to fit 200 years plus Akron history here in the museum. And that's kind of how we got the space and how you see everything here.
And it's a quality visit. This is amazing how there's a lot of really nice places in Akron to come visit the history. There's a Psychology History Museum. There's a lot of places, but this is from the ground. You can't see the floor I'm looking at right now, but there's a map of Akron on the floor. It's Akron. This is the Akroniest Akron place I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of Akron places. So tell me about the layout. We got I don't know if that's considered the first floor down below, a second floor, third floor. Mm-hmm. So is there a general layout of the way this flows? Yeah,
so the first floor is kind of the prehistory and the founding of Akron. So we talk about the Native Americans, the fact that we're on a confluence. So a lot of people don't know we're a confluence here. So at where Young's restaurant used to be off 93, the water flows two different directions. So that kind of was key also with the canals. Then we talk about the Perkins family, as well as Middlebury, which is the first settlement, and then North and South Akron and the conflict they had. And then how we became one Akron. And from there, the growth of the city. And then we talk about the Civil War, John Brown, who is probably one of the most consequential people to come out of Akron ever. And the Civil War. And then as you go up the stairs, we have 20 steps of social justice. And it brings you to the second level, which is Boomtown. So it's kind of Akron's industrial history. We talk about everything from Akron's first manufactured product, which is whiskey, to the founding of AA, immigration, the labor movements. We have an Akron's Originals case, which is essentially everything, or I wouldn't say everything because there's so much more, but a sampling of what Akron produced that wasn't rubber. So you have farming equipment, fishing equipment, books, marbles, clay products. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the first clay sewer pipe invented here in Akron. So the sewers in New York and other major cities at the time wouldn't look the same without Akron's invention. And then we talk about rubber. And as you can see behind me, we have a case filled with rubber toys and other rubber things that were made besides tires. And then we have our Lighter Than Air exhibit, which features Zeppelins and blimps and the history of that here in Akron.
And then for the third floor
is more modern Akron or cultural Akron. So we have our Akronites who have impacted America. So everybody who was either born in Akron, lived in Akron, educated in Akron, or kind of like calls Akron home. There will be over 56 biographies up there. We have our Rhythms of the Rubber City exhibit, which is our music history, our aviation history, our role in flight, as well as space travel. And then things like one of the original waffle cone makers. And we talk about the World Series of Golf. So it's kind of like a sampling of everything that's more modern, more kind of like what people who don't know a lot about Akron would know about. So, yeah.
Akron's got a rich history. I mean, for 200 years, you're going to have a lot to go. I mean, a lot to talk about, a lot of things to see. And you really encompassed pretty much, I heard a lot of stuff I didn't know. Like the whiskey, that's a new one to me. I didn't realize whiskey was like a big thing at first. And I guess whiskey's kind of big in all American culture. You start out, it's like one of the first things you're going to make is some whiskey, you know?
Well, you had all that grain left over when you farmed, and without the canal at the time, there was no way to transport it. So what do? You ferment it, and you get whiskey, so.
And it's pretty easy to make. It's a very simple product to make in all actuality. People don't realize how simple these products are to make. And the turning a clay field that you find when you go to turn to grow crops and turn that into sewer pipe, it's inventive. It's amazing. This was a swamp. I mean, in reality, this area was a swamp, and they had to be like, oh, I don't know, but and people have been here way before that too. What you said in the first floor, I mean, the history of Akron goes back. There's a lot of stuff found here. This was a beautiful area for people. I theorize people set up on like Shabondry Hill in that area and like ate food way back, 10,000 years ago, and overlooked the valley and the water that was coming in when it was flooded, when the valley had a lake there. Such beauty around here. But anyways, those are all things that Akron's encompass. So you should definitely come down and see this place. And speaking of come down and see it, so what are the hours now, and how do they where are you located at too, so they know exactly?
So we're located on South Main Street, between Crave and the Civic. I'm kind of just in the center, 172 South Main Street. And we are open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 2.
And if you're from out of town, you haven't been to Akron in like, we'll say 20, 30 years or so, you should really come down and check downtown out. It is amazing. Lock 3 now. Woo, Lock 4. I mean, it's such a vibrant area. The constructions, there's always little construction going on. I mean, that's part of improvements. But for the most part, Main Street's open now. And it's flowing well, and it looks really nice. Easy to park downtown now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of free parking, I think, in the evenings. I don't think that applies
and
really
weekends,
to
evenings and weekends, yeah.
But it's a great visit. You can spend a lot of time here. Do you have do you get bus tours for kids or anything of that nature here?
We haven't set those up yet. That's on our to-do list for this fall. So we'll see. We're working with Akron Public Schools to see how we can fit a trip to the museum into their curriculum, if it's at all possible. So. Oh,
it'd be nice if it is, because it's like, I have a theory. That's why I did this show, was that if a child like learns about their community and they learn the history, they respect it more.
Yeah.
I saw some kids throwing garbage away one day. This is literally spurred the whole show. Throwing garbage away, and there's a trash can right there, and they were like 15, 16-year-old kids. And I thought, wow, you just can't fit. And then I started thinking, why? And it just ate at me. It's because they don't know their history here, and how much the history changed the world. I mean, the Civil War, John Brown, these things changed.
World War II, synthetic rubber.
How many people say that they had relatives that came here from West Virginia for the rubber industry or the car industry? I mean, there was a mass flux of people to Akron, Ohio. Now, Akron's not as big as it used to be, but it's kind of, it seems to be, I don't know, it's a weird time. I mean, it seems that if it's a growth period up at downtown, there's a lot of apartments, a lot of people living downtown.
Oh, yeah.
It's changed a lot. You should definitely come check it out. At this point in the interview, I'd like to bring up anything you want to add that I haven't brought up so far, or anything you want to highlight that I haven't talked about?
Let's see here. We will be getting our Mickey Mouse gas mask, hopefully by the end of July. It's one of 5 in existence. It was made between a partnership with Walt Disney and Sun Rubber Company. So a lot of people don't realize that Akron was a target during World War II because of the rubber industry. I mean, synthetic rubber essentially was essential in us winning the war. But so Akron was a target. The real fear of us getting gassed was ridiculous. So if you've ever seen a World War II gas mask, they're scary looking. So they thought, why we should make some for kids that aren't as terrifying. Unfortunately, I don't think they accomplished that with the Mickey Mouse gas mask. It's still slightly terrifying, but it's better than the alternative. But so it's been under museum conservation up in Cleveland, and we should be getting it back here pretty soon. So we're really excited about that.
And they only made probably so many.
I think there were 300 of them made, and they were made quickly and for the purpose of handing out children and just making sure that they, were safe and trained in case of an emergency.
Well, what a great Christmas gift you get. There you go. It's like Mickey Mouse. What's that apparatus? Don't worry about that. Ooh. Yeah, times have changed. Who knows? Excuse me. This place came together pretty quick once it got going. I was here for probably a fundraiser for the place, I think, and it was nothing was here. It was bare, and then I come back. It's been a year maybe since that, something that range. I'm not exactly sure the time, but it wasn't that long. And this place is just completely blown out. Every inch, almost every inch, is taken up with something. How did they coordinate that?
So we worked with a company called CEI out of Canal Fulton, and they fabricated all of our exhibits for us, and they helped with some of the graphic designs and exhibit organization. And so we started installation, I think, last August, and we had it all installed for the most part. Like you said, every inch of this place is covered. Walls, floors, things are hanging from the ceiling. But we had everything installed within, I want to say, 3 or 4 months, minus like artifact labels and stuff like that. So they had a plan. They executed the plan, and we were really lucky to have a great group of people helping us out, and they did a phenomenal job. So they fabricated everything in their building, and they literally brought it all here and put it in. So
I don't know if you're looking for, like, if somebody has anything from the past that they're looking to preserve. Is that something that you're looking for donations, or not? It's not something we don't want people bringing a bunch of junk down to you. I don't know.
So essentially, the Akron History Museum itself doesn't keep any artifacts. So if it's an artifact or a 3D object, that will be, you essentially donate it to the Summit County Historical Society. If it's an archival material like photographs, papers, those will all go to special collections at the library, just because we don't have the space to store anything here, and the fact that helps maintain our community partners as well. So if you want to donate, there's a link on our website that allows you to email us, and we will direct you into the appropriate place.
Because who knows, someone might have another one of those rubber masks out there sitting around.
You never know,
I do a lot of yard sailing and things. It's amazing what you find. Akron history stuff. I've found a lot of Sun Rubber toys that probably aren't many in existence now, and not many people, except for the hardcore Akronites and people that love rubber toys, there's not a whole lot of people that understand what that is, and it's like, this is made here a long time ago.
People don't realize Akron was one of the leading toy producers up until the 1950s.
I got to interview Michael Cohill a while back before my show for the Marble Museum, and I was just fascinating learning about all the history of marbles and how it was such an equalizer in toys. We were like, his whole thing was Akron's the original North Pole, and how we created the toy industry, which we kind of did, mass production of toys.
The first toy manufacturing plant, Akron, Ohio.
Where you could get like a toy for cheap, not like one toy, you get a bunch of marbles, and there's so many things that came out of Akron, and the mass production of rubber toys at a cheap pace. The rubber ducky, these things all have their roots here in Akron. And this history is probably a lot more. I'm going to try to cover it all in the video. I mean, you'll see if I do my job right. If you want to go check it out, check out the show. There's all the video I'm going to put up. You probably won't be on the screen that much when it comes to the act, just to put your name up once, maybe twice in the actual TV show. The podcast, I really don't cut anything. I try to do it quick. I want to do it in it takes me 20 minutes to get it done and up. So that's a nice quick pace as opposed to hours and hours and hours of editing.
I'm not opposed to that.
We talked about some future things. Is there a cost to visit? Is there a donation aspect? Can people donate?
People can donate, but we are free to the public. We're a free museum. That's how we plan on staying. We don't plan on charging anybody for coming and learning their history. And it's been really nice to have people come in and see it. They always ask, how can they donate? We don't accept any donations here at the museum. Everything is through PayPal, through our website.
How about volunteers? Do you need volunteers?
We always need volunteers.
Okay, so how would a volunteer contact you?
So you can contact us through our website again. There's a link for volunteering. That email goes directly to me, and we do volunteer training once a month. So we'll email you. There's usually 2 classes. That way, if you can't make the first one, you can make the second one. And then we go through, we walk through the museum. And then if you want, you can sign up for shifts. So
there's a lot of volunteering aspects that you can do in Akron. I mean, the Civic has volunteers that have people see. There's a lot of places that have, but what a great place to volunteer. You can learn about the history, teach people for that matter, show people around. And if you have pride in your community and want to learn some more, you should check it out. And I'll have all the listings in the website or in the description below. You can go check out the links to get there. Let's see here. We have 28 minutes and 54 seconds, and we probably got about 4 of that with me doing a lot of mess ups in the beginning. I can't say enough good things about the place. I took a tour a couple weeks ago. I was here before it was anything, and now it's come a long way. I recommend if you're really into history, you're going to spend some time here. Even though the place isn't that big, there are literally thousands of objects to look at. There are videos. It's just jam-packed everywhere. I mean, I know the floor below me. I want to look and try to find, what's this? And I was looking at it the first time I was here trying to figure out what's what.
B.F. Goodrich.
And it's interesting.
It's huge.
And once you find this, where these buildings sit at on this floor, it all comes together. I can't say enough good things. You should come down and check it out, everybody. Thank you for making time for me today.
Thank you.
I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for watching this episode of Blue Green's World.